In this video, I'm going to show you how to carve a foam pumpkin. So what I'm going to be using here is called a hot knife. It is like an X-Acto knife, sharp at the end. You can tell I've used it a lot because of the angle, and it heats up, and so that'll help me carve through the foam. So I'm looking at the seams here. I don't want to start carving into the seams. I want to start somewhere else because the seams are thicker and harder to cut through. So I'm getting to the seam right here, so it's thicker, so it's harder to cut through. I'm also going to get my tag out of the way. And go all the way around. I'm also cutting at a slight angle. That way the top of the pumpkin sits nice inside of it. If you go straight down, it doesn't sit as smoothly. Okay, so now I've got my top off. So now I'm finding my seams and I want to center my design in between the seams. A lot of people will print off designs and tape it to the pumpkin. I'm just going to freehand this design because it's a fairly simple design. So this is going to be a paw print, so I'm starting with the main part of the paw. Again, I want to center my design in the seam, that way it's not as hard to cut through. So now I'm going to be working on the toes. One, two, three, and four. So I'm looking, and these are a little bit too pointy for me. I want to round them out a little bit to make it a little bit more friendlier looking. So the light is coming in through the top of the pumpkin, so it looks like it's glowing right now. Whenever I taught elementary school, kids would always be amazed whenever I'd put the lid on. They're like, oh, well, the light's coming on. No, it's just coming in from the top. So now I want to write the name of the school this is going to up here. So the name of the school that it's going to is Wood. So I'm carefully carving out the W When you're not carving the top of the pumpkin, it is okay to go straight into the pumpkin. You don't have to do it at an angle. Part of the difficulty when you're working with smaller designs is popping it out. It can take a little bit of finagling the fingers and finding it from the back to pull out these little pieces. Now for the O's, you have to be careful because if you completely cut out your O, it will not have that center part. And sometimes for designs that works, but I want to make sure I still have the center part. So what I'm going to do here is carve through completely on a U shape almost basically. And then I'm only going to do a partial cut through for the top of the O. That way that middle piece is still suspended. See how it looks like a U? So now I'm going to not carve all the way through. I'm just doing a partial cut. I do this at an angle because it makes it also easier to pull out the other piece. So I'm angling them towards each other, kind of like the letter V as the middle. If you were to do a cross section, that lets me pull out this smaller piece of pumpkin easier. So now that center O piece is still connected. So now I'm going to do the same thing for my second O. I'm going to clean this up here for a second though. For the letter D, I'm going to have to do that same thing so that center piece of the D does not fall out. So for the straight part of the capital letter D, I'm doing a half cut. Again, angling both sides to a V so it pops out like that. Now for the curved part of the letter D, I'm going to do the full cut through. Then it's still connected by the straight part. Alright, so I got my word wood with the paw prints, and now I'm just going to clean up anything that I think is a little bit too messy. The full bit of the orange piece didn't quite pop out. I'm just going to do some cleanup work, and then I'm pretty much done. If you have been enjoying this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribed. It really helps us creators and it costs you nothing to do. I hope this video is being useful to you. We've just got a little bit more left. If you have any requests on whether pumpkins I should carve, let me know. Here we go. I'm pretty happy with that. When you are going to put the lid back on, again, you're going to check your seams. I'll show you right here. Sometimes it can be hard if you tried to carve a perfect circle. It might be hard to put it back on. So just line up your seams, and that'll help you figure out exactly where it goes to get a nice smooth contact. There we go. Hope you enjoyed.